Hello and welcome to first round coverage from the United States Disc Golf Championship presented by Innova Disc Golf. Big Sexy commentary here with you, Nate Sexton and Jeremy Koling.
We have the opportunity to do commentary on the biggest tournaments of the year, and this is without question the biggest tournament of the year for me. I know for you too, and this is the Players Major. This is the big kahuna, man. This is what it's all about. The professionalism, the way that they treat the players here. The USDGC it hasn't been matched yet, in my opinion. There's a lot of tournaments that do an incredible job, but the US is the best.
Yeah, great to be back here in Rock Hill on the grounds of Winthrop University. Hole 1, par 3, 253 in the A position. Straight shot right up the gut.
In 2015 United States champion, Paul McBeth.
And this is the 20th edition of the USDGC. This event started in 1999, and the event staff decided to do something interesting. They decided to bring the basket down the hill, and now we're playing the straight position just as a kind of an homage to the original first hole.
I like it.
Yeah, I do too. I think it's a classic starting position.
And that's a classic McBeast shot. Paul with the Nova to 2 feet.
Finland, Seppo Paju.
And it's a player we've seen a lot lately throw some really incredible shots, has great control over the disc.
Along with elite distance.
Top 5, I'd say. And that's how you want to play this hill. Oh, actually didn't quite get that skip. A lot of times you'll see that backhand hyzer putter get that anti-skip.
Canada, Duncan Schulz.
This is a player I've never seen before.
Yeah, I think he may have been at the Canadian Championship that I was just at, but nice to see another international player, Duncan, going with the backhand a little high, but it looks like it's gonna fight.
Oh, this is just long for the ace, but great shot. Nice way to get your USDGC
Canada,
debut.
Andrew Leyland.
Was this another Canada?
I think that's what I heard. Maybe that anti-skip. Oh, it doesn't even need it.
Yeah, great shot there. We got to give a shout out to another USDGC debut, AJ Carey, whose first shot at the United States Disc Golf Championships ever aces.
On the second card of the morning as well. Seppo from just outside the circle. Chains out, takes a little roll, but he shouldn't have to pay for it. This is Duncan in for birdie.
Great way to start off the major event here.
Andrew up next. Solid.
And in that angle, you could see the outside the circle for the B position, which we'll be playing for the rest of the event. It's only about 45 feet away, but it is such a different hole.
Mm-hmm.
And McBeth with a little tap in here for birdie. And we're off. The easiest hole of the entire tournament is now gone, and the rest of it, back to the championship.
Hole 2, par 4, 629 feet. This one you want to go as long and straight as you can, trying to stay low under these branches. Low backhand roller are possible plays. You got to watch out for the hazard area on the right side, and then OB parking lot along the left. Then once you do get up to the green, they've put these posts here to make sure that you can't just bail out and hit the fence and have an easy birdie putt. So that really does play a factor. If you get right, it can be difficult.
Let's call them what they are. They're the mozzarella sticks. Or the 5 middle fingers, whichever one you want.
They are absolutely a difficult challenge for sure.
And
Paul is crushing that.
Wow. That's about as far as you can get a backhand drive under that low ceiling. Every year that ceiling just gets a little bit lower and makes that air shot so much more difficult and really promotes that roller play.
Duncan a little bit high. Is this going to get past the brick house? Yeah, it's okay.
And I believe off to the left is a little bit, if you have a forehand approach, that's preferable. Because you're going over the parking lot, but you have a better angle to avoid those guardian pillars or whatever you want to call them.
Yeah, sure.
4 air shots here. Do you go with the roller on this hole?
I do.
You do, okay. Actually, I got away from it this year just because I felt like that out of bounds on the right side comes into play. The hazard play up on the right can come in play if you throw a roller that drifts too far off to the right.
And Duncan going to hit the fence, but he's edge of the circle. He's going to have a very tricky putt thanks to the posts, but makeable. Andrew also a little wide. The fence should stop him.
Not only do these guys look the same, they're throwing almost the same shots on every shot so far. It's pretty impressive. And they're both from Canada.
It is.
And Seppo with a nice approach there. That'll leave him about 22 feet.
Yeah, that's perfect. And Paul's going to go with the Firebird forehand here.
That is such a far tee shot.
Yeah, it is. Perfect approach.
Mm-hmm.
Just outside bullseye.
And Duncan off the band. Good work just avoiding the pillars there.
Andrew's blocked. Seppo should have no trouble. After missing hole 1, I know it feels good for Seppo to just kind of feels like, okay, we're here. We're under par. Let's go.
Yeah, birding 2 is good. I mean, it's averages at par. Usually holes that average at par. Pretty good holes. I mean, it's challenging with the out of bounds on the parking lot there and the low ceiling tee shot. It's a really good 2-shot hole. You feel good getting this one.
Hole 3, downhill par 3, 389 feet with hazard rules. The ropes you can see there define the line, and then they also wrap around the back right edge of the green. So if you were to kind of come across the basket, moving right and get outside the circle, you're going to be in a hazard area there as well. So this one, straight mid-range, maybe even putter or a forehand, just trying to stick that green and not move a lot left to right.
And kind of surprising, this is the second easiest handicap of the day. Averaging 2.73, it's just a surprisingly low number on this hole, which in the past has actually been one of the hardest holes on the course. Paul doesn't like the tee shot, slipped a little bit, but still in the circle.
Yeah, I think he thought that was going OB at first, the way he reacted, but luckily stays in safe. And this must be a very flippy disc. It looks like it is. With that kind of height, you're scared a lot of times that thing's going to go way to the left, but perfect control there from Seppo, and it's parked.
Wow. Yeah, and even though they brought the OB down and in to the right this year, just playing it as hazard as opposed to the old traditional stroke and distance, which we haven't played stroke and distance here in several years.
Duncan just outside the ropes.
But that has made a huge difference on this hole. I mean, this hole never averaged below par. You'd see people take big numbers, kind of like 17 in a way. But they've relaxed a little bit on the rules, and the hazard rule, I think, is a great rule in this hole. You know, you threw a shot almost as good as the next person. You don't have to take the tee shot over again. You just get to play from there with that extra stroke.
Andrew also finds the hazard. He's got this putt to save par. Good line. Didn't quite have the height. He'll take bogey. And Duncan trampoline hops his way into the pole. Paul for birdie and a little low. Seppo is in. I saw Paul on hole 4 and walked over, said good luck to him. And he's like, man, I just missed the inside the circle putt. You got any U.S. champion advice for me? And I said,
don't do that again.
You know what, buddy? Just keep doing what you're doing. I think you're going to be okay.
Well, let's see if that advice pays off. I mean, it's pretty good advice.
Yeah.
It's really good advice. I don't know if anyone else could have come up with that clutch advice at that time.
Thank you. Hole 4, par 4, 444 feet. There's no hazard line or OB line on the left on this hole this year. You're just going straight up the middle or around the outside, just trying to get enough distance to set yourself up to navigate past this Mando tree. You're going to see it here on the right side, that largest tree. You must pass to the left and then skip in right into this little grove of trees. It's a super difficult upshot. You really have to be in the perfect place to even have a chance to execute it. If you're not there, you just have to lay up and play for 4.
I think it's one of the more unique hole designs on the course. You don't really play anything like this anywhere else, and I think it's a fantastic hole.
Yeah, it's cool. It's such a specific landing zone. Like if you don't find that perfect place, obviously Seppo, they're not in the perfect place with that roller. Ambitious play there, but he's going to have to lay up from there.
And you see those rocks there on the ground.
Ooh, and Paul just misses the tree, and this is going to be ideal.
Oh, wow. Oh, man.
Big distance all the way down to the bottom.
That approach shot is kind of tricky. It's not, I mean, you're short, you're close to the pin, but your disc has to make almost like a 90-degree right skip.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're skipping it with a sidearm, and it's sloped left to right, so you're trying not to get the disc to skip too far or roll away, and it's just a lot to it. So even though Paul has thrown the perfect shot, it's still not a gimme approach.
I think the approach is harder this year, and I can't really put my finger on why.
I can tell you personally, I threw...
Oh, and Seppo, I don't like this play. Let's see, does he make... No. I don't think that makes a lot of sense because best case is still not a birdie.
Yeah, so might as well
So
just
I would like
punch
to
out
see him
straight.
go straighter there. That's a high-risk play going forehand roller. I mean, can't fault him. I'm sure he thought he had the shot, but unfortunately he's missed the mandatory, and now he's going to take the penalty and move here.
And this is not an easy shot either. And yeah,
This is... Oh, actually skips okay, but that's likely a double bogey.
You can see those little feathers in the ground. Those are that's the 2 meter or the circle 2. So he's sitting at about 65 feet right now.
And this is a layup shot. Not the worst. I mean, he didn't get a ton of distance, but the angle is fine from there.
Yeah, and that's what you would really like to see from where Seppo was. But you can see here from Paul, he's got to put a lot of angle on it and trust it, and you know.
And even still, from the perfect drive, that's a well-executed approach, and he's still 30 feet.
Yeah. I think maybe that outside edge, those trees are just getting wider. I think
that's what it is.
Every year, so you just have less space. That you don't want to cut it in too tight because then you're going to be stuck 40 feet from the pin with no look at the pin. So, Paul's play to put it at the edge of the circle is, this is the safest play, but you'd like to obviously park it with such a great drive.
And this is Seppo for a 5, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
He's just going to lay that up.
And with that slope
Smartly. This green is more slopey than it looks on camera. There is some danger here. Paul for a birdie.
And the same distance as his miss on 3 makes a correction.
He can thank me for that one.
Yeah, I think that goes on the 2017 U.S. champ.
Here is Andrew. In for par. On to hole 5, par 5, 1,083 feet. If you hadn't woken up and figured out you're at the USDGC, you know now when you step on this tee pad, you got to go over the water to start, then play a long straight shot to set up your third shot that's hopefully will be a crossing shot over the water again. Note the mandatory pole here next to the trees. You must pass left, so there's no going around the outside. You're forced to cross the water 2 times. And then you'd like to just find this green. Going for the pin is sort of a risky proposition. You want to play for that right edge, make sure you get in bounds, and then hopefully hit a putt.
In the last 3 or 4 years, there's actually been a B placement around the corner to the right that made the third shot almost blind no matter where you were. They've done away with that this year. We're going to be playing to this original position all 4 rounds, which I personally really like. This is
Same.
one of the most famous holes in the sport of disc golf, and sometimes you just don't need to mess with anything. And
Great shot from Paul there. Most likely a destroyer.
And besides the road OB on the right and the mandatory pole, this is just all natural OB, and it's just long distance shot, but it requires 3 shots at about 350 feet of accuracy.
At least.
Well, yeah, I mean, you break it down in 3 shots, 3 350s, and that gets you 1050. And if you do that, accurately, you're giving yourself a putt for birdie. And at a professional level, we should all be expected to execute that shot at that distance 3 times in a row.
These are all good drives so far. These guys putting it out into the middle. Let's see if Seppo goes big here.
He's lining up
That's an interesting look. He's going with a big hyzer. He's
Wow.
probably going to find the same landing zone. Not even quite. He might be a little short of the other guys, but that's a very, very safe play.
Yeah, just keeping it away from that water at all costs.
Here is Andrew looking to get 400 here if he can. Going to go a little conservative, but this is getting kind of close.
Oh, wow.
Oh, no.
And, you know, that is the first time I've actually seen somebody skip into the water. The ground is a lot softer this year. We had that storm that came through. I can't remember the name of the storm right now, but it was a really bad.
Florence.
Hurricane Florence, yeah, came through. And I don't think the water line breached over the edge of the embankment, but the ground is really soft, and it still hasn't quite hardened up yet. So a lot of these shots that come in with hyzer have been sticking on the edge.
And this is a good shot from Paul. Wow. Look at that control all the way to the edge. What do you think? Was old Paulie a little scared there, or you think he knew the whole time?
He's probably trying to land about 15 feet further right of that, but you're not going to
Big
complain about that.
hyzer from Duncan.
Yep, and that angle is going to be perfect. It's just going to skip and hit the ground.
Great.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, here's Andrew. This is put up or shut up time going across probably at least 380.
That's a nice shot there.
Very,
Wow.
very good shot. Put himself to 20 feet from way back there. Great recovery.
And this shot will pucker the nerves of even the most seasoned professional. I don't think
I'm
this is-
scared on this one.
Yeah, I don't think this ever had enough. No, that's way out.
Wow, Seppo is way up here.
And that's
Going with a safe play.
yeah, really safe shot there. But, you know, a 5 on this hole, sometimes it feels like a birdie. Sometimes it feels like a par, but never a bad play.
Yeah. And he's going with the big hyzer again. He's a lot closer this time, so I'd like to think he's probably got the distance. Yes. You know what really feels like a birdie? 5P, what Andrew's just staring at.
Yeah.
5P is a very, very good thing. If you go out of bounds here and you can come back with a save,
I believe Ulibarri one time had a 4P on this hole.
that's insane.
Yeah.
And Paul to inside the circle with that forehand hyzer.
Really enjoying that 29-foot range right now for Paul. It's 3 holes in a row.
Seppo.
Let's see if he's warmed up with this putt.
That's another birdie.
Oh, yeah. And that's only a hole and a half, I guess 2 holes away from that advice that you gave him. I think he's still riding high off that.
Oh, yeah.
That
I'd
pep
expect
talk.
it to last, 48 hours at least.
48 hours. Wow. You got any advice for me?
Yeah, but off the mic for sure.
Okay.
Afterwards.
Cool. Do better on hole 17.
I could take some of my own advice there. All right, here is Andrew for that elusive 5P. That is fantastic.
Yeah, that's a rare play there.
Great, great saving shot. You've just gone OB. Your nerves are like rattled right there. And he executed a fantastic shot across the water to save that.
And Seppo with a more traditional par there.
Yeah, with the umbrella up.
I've seen a lot of the Finns out there with umbrellas.
They're fair-skinned people. I mean, you got to watch out. It's hot out there.
It is a hot October for Rock Hill. We're typically in mid-fall season right now, but we're dealing with 80-degree temperatures. Not what we're used to this time of year here in the South.
But you got to admit, when it's hot, where do you go? You go to the beach. And on hole 6, we've got a little bit of a beach. This one, you're going 371 up the middle. You're going to go with a kind of a overstable fairway driver for most players, I think. And you're just trying to keep it low and take your little bit of skip over to the beach. But you have to be very careful. If you hyzer early, you're going OB, and the OB result is a 45-foot death putt.
And this has got to be quick. If this isn't quick, this is not going to quite reach the beach.
This is a little scary. Wow.
Oh my gosh, wow. You don't see many shots skip over the corner there and land on the beach.
Yeah, that was kind of living on the edge. A little bit heavy on the hyzer, a little bit aggressive, but luckily that sand is there to hold him because that's coming in with a lot of speed.
Wow. And inside that bullseye ring there, it's a great shot from Paul.
Here is Andrew. This needs to finish, but I like the look of it.
Yeah, this is the more traditional line. Up the middle the whole way, and the late skip, and then the roll down the hill to the beach. That's exactly that's the way you draw it up for most players.
You think Seppo's going with the high hyzer? I kind of think he's lining that up.
He's going the inside hyzer. That's a very peculiar line there.
I think that's the only hyzer that's available on a non-windy day. I don't think you can go wide.
Look at that. Straight onto the beach. No skip off the grass or anything. Great shot.
Nice to have that power. And Duncan, this is getting overstable, but it needs to hurry up. Oh, yes. That's a beautiful set of drives.
All 4 inside the circle and 6, and this hole has been playing tough, man, since they put that tree right by the tee pad. Oh, man.
Little low for Andrew. Frustrating.
That would have been a rare star frame on this hole.
Shaking off the sand.
Seppo's in for his birdie. And another tap in for Paul. Well, I can't say another tap in. He's only had, this is his 3rd so far, but
another birdie. Anyway.
Another birdie, and he's
minus 5.
5 down through 6.
Fantastic.
Not a bad start. Not a stranger to great starts here. One year, I believe he shot a 52 first round.
Sounds credible.
I'm pretty sure it's the course record, yeah. And so,
hole 7, par 3, 284 feet with the triple Mando. You've got to go between the bamboo gate here, underneath the top of it, or else you have to go to your choice, one of 2 drop spots, probably about 65, 70 feet from the pin. If you do make it through and go a little long, though, there is OB over by that fence, and then obviously OB at the road as well. Paul's going with a rock 3. He hates it, but it's okay. As long as you don't miss that. I mean, if you draw it up, you want your worst case scenario to be that you hit that wall.
Correct.
Ideally.
Yeah.
And Seppo is very high, but it is a putter, I think, so perfect.
Yeah.
That blue one, he throws that thing up and it scares me because I think, there's no way it's that flippy, but he knows what he's doing.
Yeah, he clearly does.
This needs to drop quickly.
And hyzer.
Oh, last post.
Andrew having a nice turnover on this one. This has got an ace run line. Just
wow. Yeah, perfect.
Fantastic shot. Great control over the mid-range, and we've got a 49-foot putt here for Duncan. A little jump. He knows
Duncan.
it. He knows it. Awesome.
That was
putt.
beautiful. Look at that. I love when the slow-mo, no wobble. I mean, man, that is clean.
Yeah, for a push putt from 50 feet with no wobble, that's not easy to do.
And he even big putts the big putt master.
Wow. Put that in the highlight reel.
Oh,
no.
Man, he big putts his countryman, too.
Can't big putt Seppo.
Too close. No.
Why drop your putter in after you've already have a putter in there? I
didn't even see what happened.
It's just one of my peeves. I don't know. It's not a big deal.
All right. I don't even know what you're talking about.
He just drops his putter. You already have a putter in the basket. You go to take it out of the basket. You drop another disc into the basket. I don't know. It shouldn't bother me. It's a stupid thing to be bothered by.
Hole 8, par 4, 697. This one is largely without OB, though you do have this left side, the whole fence line, and then this little bubble of red stakes. That's kind of right in the preferred landing zone, so you have to be aware of that. There is a mandatory pole here that you must go left of. The best play is just kind of get out there in the middle and then throw a forehand or a kind of a mid-range roller because this finishes so hard to the right and uphill. It's a really difficult green to access.
The biggest change on this hole is that stump that you see just left of the pin was a huge obstacle in the past, and not until this year has it been taken down. I think that maybe Winthrop staff took it down worrying about their scoreboard for the baseball field, but it was a huge obstacle. And if you went long on this hole, you almost had no putt, and now it's gone. So not that the hole is any easier because this, I mean, I guess it is in that respect.
But it was rare to get back there anyway.
It's such a hard 2-shot hole.
2 decent drives from Seppo and Duncan. Here is Paul going with the destroyer, a little bit flippy. Wow, a lot bit flippy is what I meant to say. And that is not where you want to be. He's going to be in par town, I'm thinking.
Yeah, he's going to have to pull something out if he wants to get anywhere near the green, like a really flippy roller.
Yeah, huge skip. Maybe he could set himself up for a long putt, but I can't see how he really reaches circle one.
Yeah, it'd be very, very difficult. And yeah, even if you take distance off, but you keep yourself in line with the fairway, you can get to the pin.
And Seppo going with that roller. This is good angle.
Wow, look at this shot.
Missed the trees. Oh, wow.
My God, that is so good.
And that was not even a long drive. His drive wasn't great, but that second shot was magical.
Wow, fantastic.
And this is a little heavy on the cut. But it's actually fantastic.
I like it, man.
Maybe that's the best two shots we've seen on this hole. Holy cow.
My gosh.
That is not an easy shot, folks.
No, and this is the more traditional shot, but this is a really hard shot because most of these shots will do exactly what this one did.
That's about 80 short.
Mm-hmm. Skip up the hill short. You really have to push the backside, but it's so tricky because that ceiling is only 4 feet, 5 feet, maybe 7 feet off the ground.
I think this is that road runner. He's trying to lay this thing down really quick. He might have done it, folks.
Oh, and a little bit of an unfortunate
We told you he couldn't reach circle one. We know what we're talking about.
Oh my God, what a shot.
He's 1 foot outside.
What a shot.
That was fantastic from that position. Duncan lays one up, and we've got 3 birdie putts here.
Man. So good.
Nice.
So good. Averages 4.2. Not many people are birding. 16% of the field.
We're about to see quite a hefty portion of that percentage.
Yeah.
Andrew is in, and with that putt, our entire group is under par. That's a good sign.
Mm.
Hole 9, this is a new design, par 4, 685, the toughest iteration of hole 9 that we've ever seen certainly in my 12 years at the championship. This one is 3 different islands. You can go for the very short island. This is the middle island we're flying over now. That's probably at least 300 from the tee. Players are going to go with big forehand or turnover to that spot. And then you've got the last crossing shot to this last island that's wider at the beginning, but as they like to do, it gets really tight around the basket, especially on that left side.
They've gone with maybe 4 or 5 different designs on this hole, and I believe they've just been searching for a hole that fit for this.
Is this too far right?
This might have too much cut on it. I believe it will. It needs to curl quick.
Get back in. It might have.
Oh, wow. That was not an easy shot. I'm sure Seppo was not comfortable with that the whole way, but he's going to love that result.
And this is a little more traditional, little forehand flexor.
Mm-hmm. And that looks really nice. Blind shot off the tee. To go for this landing zone, you really have to trust your shot. Seppo, they have a fence on the right side here. You can kind of see these lines between these 2 trees. Seppo was going hyzer over the baseball field.
Oh, no. And all OB goes to a drop zone here, so he's actually going to move up quite a bit.
Yeah, about 200 feet from there.
But still, he's going to be left with 360 feet to the pin. And this is a forehand shot I didn't practice going wide. Let's see how that works. It looks...
Oh, just
it's
barely.
in, but it's so far from the basket.
You're talking 365, 370 feet from there.
Here is the drop zone shot. This is pretty well done. Take a skip. Yeah, he's got 40, 45 feet, perhaps.
Mm-hmm. But to this tiny peanut island green, this is a really scary shot. And this is where the big numbers come on this hole. If you don't land this one well, you're re-throwing from the previous lie. It's a stroke and distance hole.
And here is Paul going with a hyzer. Yeah, I like peanut. I think peanut for the last one, kidney bean for the middle one, and lima bean for the short one.
Okay.
So these guys are throwing from the kidney to the peanut.
I can't. I love it. I just can't personally do it.
Well, I'll take care of it. They're all in the peanut now.
Trying to make some jelly here, but a little bit short. It's going to be a soggy sandwich for Andrew.
And whoa, that did not look like his normal putt. Maybe caught on his finger or something. That thing came out with a lot more loft and a lot less speed.
Seppo going to take the nice birdie in this one.
Moving to -4. Seppo's stringing some birdies together here.
Just to tell you how hard this course can be. You can put together a good game plan, but then executing it is such a different thing. And this course lays out not that difficult, but the scores just get high. And come tournament play, you're going to see huge numbers. This hole, only the 6th hardest hole, averages 4.43.
That's amazing that it's only the 6th. I thought this was a top 3.
Yeah, and there's 5 holes that average higher than that. So, I mean, you're just going to see some of these holes in the back 9 that are just going to tear people up.
Wow, and look at all those birdies for Paul and for Seppo. Aside from that one double bogey, they're shooting very well. Here is a little check-in with our players through the front 9.
Wow, some hot starts.
Yeah. Oof. Come on back and join us for that back 9 coverage. See if Paul can keep that fire going. Seppo charging hard as well. We will see you guys soon.